When I visit Bellefontaine, two separate things go through my mind. One is I visit some of my heritage and my history. I have two grandparents and two parents and a wife of 54 years. Second, I think of the St. Louis and the history of our region and our community, how important it's been to the world, and how much it's tied up with the people who are buried there.
It's actually where its art and where its history come together. It's one of the oldest rural cemeteries in the country, and I like the idea that it sort of became maybe the city's shadow. I think Truman Post or someone said that it was sort of the lengthening shadow of the greatness of the city as it grew too. When I'm in a cemetery that really relates to history, it's all around you, that all of that heritage is still there, but in a very beautiful setting. That's pretty exciting to me, to think that you're rubbing shoulders with history itself, with the people that are buried there.
It's an absolutely gorgeous place. You know, before there were botanical gardens, there were cemeteries. When people got away from the idea of having cemeteries only in churchyards and began making urban, kind of rural planted cemeteries like Mount Auburn in Boston and Bellefontaine here, they created lovely spaces which not only provided a dignified place for internment to occur, but also for people simply to come and enjoy themselves. In fact, cemeteries were in effect the first parks here. One is struck by the cathedral-like beauty of the overarching trees, the very mature trees, some of them going back to the middle of the 19th century, which formed kind of a cathedral over the graves and the markers and the monuments that have been built out there, and make it beautiful and a place where one feels reverent and thoughtful at all times.
As an architect, admiring so many things about St. Louis, and Bellefontaine in particular, its beauty and its character comes from the land itself. The valleys and prospects lends a timelessness to this place and creates a peace and an intimacy when you're there. Everything is very much in harmony, but yet there's such a range of magnificent memorials designed by outstanding architects. Louis Sullivan designed the Wainwright Tomb. Henry Bacon, the architect of the Lincoln Memorial, designed the mausoleum for the Mallinckrodt family. And Eames & Young, a prominent St. Louis firm, designed many of the memorials, including Hotchkiss Chapel.
We have had a committed board since 1849, and the mission of the board has been the same for that entire period of time. It's first and foremost to serve the families that come to Bellefontaine, but it's also to preserve and to tell their stories, and finally it's to conserve this beautiful, lush landscape to make sure it's a place of solace and remembrance for all time. Bellefontaine is also committed to the neighborhood in which we reside. The partnerships that enhance our community and enhance this beautiful historic landscape will be an important part of our planning for the future.
The National Audubon Society partnered with Bellefontaine to recognize and help with habitat and conservation within the cemetery. Bellefontaine Cemetery is located along the Mississippi Flyway. We're pretty sure that as birds are flying along this flyway and as they're looking down, they're looking at this as a great oasis and feeding and resting place.
The relationship between the church and Bellefontaine goes back to when the church was first constructed at this location. And Bellefontaine, of course, being here already, had already established itself in terms of being supportive with the neighborhood and the community as far as housing is concerned, building new homes. So they have been a great contributor to the stabilization of the community.
Okay, so new sentences have what?
The 8-week summer program, June and July. is a program that supports the academic progress of our youth, K through 8, and it supports their academic and social development. And Bellefontaine is very instrumental in supporting at least 50% of the budget for that program each year. The long-term dream or vision is that we impact the young people in this community, in the immediate neighborhood in particular, that they grow to be independent, constructive thinkers and also become those who are supportive of the neighborhood and the community and those that take pride and take care of the community for years to come.
Coming to Bellefontaine makes you realize that your past matters. And it takes the abstract of reading history books and gives it context. I think it's only fitting that Clark's monument faces out to the river where they started the journey. Essentially, they launched history and created the gateway to the West.
In Bellefontaine, we may realize how much we owe to those who have gone before, which mostly we forget. We take so much for granted. We don't stop to remember that all we have that makes our lives wonderful today are gifts from those who came before us.